Hello, friends. It's August. It's our first team call of August. Get your teams on here, remind them. Even for us, we're homeschoolers, you guys, and we're not like prepping for school the way like the rest of the world is. But there really is a shift going on even in our homes and our schedules. And sometimes we need little reminders put out there. Well, we are just all very grateful to have a very special guest on this call, Sonya Crist. You guys, she is under Danette Martin, who is under Brenda Martin. No, is she under Delvin or Brenda?
She was under Brenda.
She's under Brenda. Okay. Sonia went Emerald at the end of July. You guys, that was just a couple of days ago. And I think this is like her first time sharing her story in full on a team call. And I have a feeling she might get some other calls in the coming months. I remember not being prepared for that when I went for Emerald or when I hit Emerald. I was like, oh goodness, I didn't think about this side of things. I had to say some no's even because I'm like, I'm still in momentum. I've got to be serving my team and taking care of my family. But what a treasure to have you on here, Sonia, to take time out of your busy day to pour into our team, share your story, share your aha moments, the good, the bad, the ugly, you guys. And that is all I'm going to say because we just want to hear from our sweet friend. Congratulations, Sonia. I cannot wait to see you on the Alaskan cruise in September with your husband. Oh, we are going to celebrate.
It's going to be amazing. I was actually just talking with Kristen from the events team. She got me my email sent over. They're like, since you were our very last qualifier, we're squeezing you in, but we got to get all this information from you right now. And I was like, you got it, because I'm on that ship. Oh, it is an absolute dream come true. And BK, you said the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's all of that. But I'm telling you, the Lord's goodness covers all of it in good, just good. So don't worry if you're in some bad and some ugly right now. Just keep following him, keep showing up and loving people like Jesus, and it's good no matter what. Goodness, what do you even want me to say?
I know, right? It's like, let's start from the very beginning. You can go wherever you
Oh,
want to go. We're just here to listen. If you have 20 minutes, we are thrilled to have you. If you have an hour, we will still be here. So it's up to
yeah.
you. Zero pressure.
I definitely want to respect your time. I really appreciate you guys showing up to hear my story. I don't think I'm anything that special, but on the other hand, what we have is special and all of us can do it. So I'm going to go a bit on an outline that, yes, I've been asked to be on some other calls. So I felt like this outline was really good. So I'm just going to go with it. First question is, why did you start Plexus? And I've got some notes if I'm looking down, that's why. So I had actually struggled with autoimmune disorders for 17 years. I was miserable. I spent most of the time in bed or on the couch. I, my pain, my exhaustion, my brain fog kept me from being the wife and the mom that I wanted to be. I felt like I was living life so selfishly because every moment was focused on me and just getting through the day. And what can I do to get better? And I was constantly just looking at myself instead of being able to serve others and focus on my kids and focus on my husband and my church. It was like everything was all about me all the time. And I hated it. I was seeing who was supposed to be the best doctor in the area, and he did help me some. But I still remember the day that I had another checkup with him, and he threw up his hands and said, your body's not detoxing, and I don't know why. And he basically did not know what else to do for me. And I went home and I cried because I did not know where else to turn. I was spending easily $1,000 a month on IV treatments, supplements, medications, hormonal therapies, organic foods. We were doing everything right, and we were getting sicker and sicker because it wasn't just me. My 9-year-old son, who was my oldest son, he was a super happy baby and toddler. But over the space of just a couple of years, from about 7 to where he was then, 9, almost 10, he had gotten extremely depressed, We were being referred to an autism specialist because he had all the signs and symptoms of being on the spectrum. Um, right before we learned about Plexus, we thought that he had unalived himself. Fortunately, we found him safe and whole, but he had a plan, and I didn't think he was going to make it to his 10th birthday. We went to Thanksgiving with my Aunt Danette. We got together every Thanksgiving, and I had heard her talking a little bit about this pink drink. And I was like, what is this stuff? Because it's pink and it's called Slim. It's got to be terrible. Why do you have my mother-in-law on it? And I was going to chew her out, right? But because I was like, this stuff can't be good for her. Why are you giving her, something like this? Um, and she started telling me the stories of sleeping better and her grandson getting off of like anxiety and depression medications. I hope I don't have to be compliant here, y'all, because we are not compliant in our story at all. And I was like, oh, hold up. Your grandson is getting better too. Like, she knew that we had had some struggles with my son, but she didn't know like how bad it really was. And I was like, yeah, we thought we lost him last Saturday. Um, So I was really, really skeptical. And I didn't want to spend the money because we could not afford it. But my husband said, we can't afford not to try this stuff. And so I told her, I was like, well, I'll try it, but I'm going to get my money back when it doesn't work. Y'all, I was probably not a very nice person, but you'll excuse me because Slim, pink drink, helping all the things we were dealing with. I didn't even care about weight loss. I'd started gaining some weight, but I didn't care about that. I just wanted to feel better, right? And she just smiled and said, okay, but you won't need to. And she was so right. Okay. So the next question is, what made you decide to start sharing and grow your business? So I actually ordered retail on a Black Friday sale because I was not going to be snookered into any sort of subscription that I couldn't get out of because I could not afford these products. But I told my mom and my sister and my best friend before I even got my products because I actually had hope for the first time in years because I kept replaying the stories that she had told me about all the other family members that had started this stuff 1 month, not even 2 months ago, and getting these results, right? And so they're all like, all right, let me know how it goes, right? So after just a month of just my son and I taking Slim and seeing such huge results, um, basically we had a long ways to go, but even in just a month's time, we knew we had the miracle that we had prayed for years. Um, so I joined for wholesale because I knew I had to have these and I knew I had to have the best prices, right? I had zero idea that this could be a business. I remember my aunt saying that, like, if you share with some friends, like, you can earn some free product. And so I was like, fantastic. Maybe I can get a free ProBio 5 after a couple of months because that's like what I had been learning about in the team pages that she had put me in. And I was like, that's, what we need to order next. So I did. I ordered like triplex next. I think two of them maybe because it was like, well, we all need, my son and I have to have the Slim still, and we gotta start the other stuff. Um, and then I earned over $300 in my first month. And people, I'm an oldie on Plexus. That's still when they sent paper checks. So I just got this paper check in the mail, like no email, nothing, just a paper check. And I'm like calling up my aunt going, they made a mistake, but I don't want to send it back because I need money. And she goes, oh, you earned that. And maybe she tried to teach me about the business. I don't really remember. I probably still had enough brain fog and so much healing to do that maybe it didn't really sink in. So even though I kept sharing, I kept earning money, I did not grasp that this was a business until I ranked gold 7 months later. My husband sent, so I joined in January. My husband made me go to convention in May. I was scared out of my mind. Hadn't flown by myself ever, hadn't flown in like 10 years. I didn't know. So I started to grasp it there, like, oh, this is big. But not until I ranked gold in August and I read the comp plan 7 times was I like, hold up. I think this is something. So I still had a lot of healing going on. I said I'd been sick for 17 years. I've really been sick since I was born. I was like jaundice. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, like Epstein-Barr when I was 5 years old, still dealing with that hormone issues from the time, I started my period when I was 11 or 12, like, but the really bad stuff started when I was like in my early 20s. And then like after my last child was born. But anyway, so I did start actually learning how to do this as a business when I rank gold. So just give you a little bit of my like rank up timeline. I ordered retail on Black Friday of 2013. Anybody else been around as long as me? November of 2013. I think I'm older than all of you, BK included. Stick in here. It's great here. Oh, and for the record, I have never done any other network marketing businesses. I really didn't know much about them. My parents just said network marketing is bad. They use you because they had had a couple bad experiences as customers and other companies. If I had known that Plexus was a network marketing business, I probably wouldn't have ever ordered. I think God like protected me because I had this bad view of it without even knowing what it was, right? Um, okay. So I joined for wholesale prices in January. That was back when you were an ambassador, as soon as you joined. I ranked silver in February, gold in July. That's before senior silver existed. Gold in July. I'm sorry. I said July. Okay, it was. I said August earlier, but it was July. Anyway, July of 2014, senior gold February 2015, Ruby, August 2015. Senior Ruby, May of 2016. And there I sat for 9 years. Right after I went Senior Ruby, about a third of my team quit. I went back in points for a few months, but I rebuilt and I maintained Senior Ruby points for all the time since. Growing very, very slowly. 3 different times in that 9 year space, my autoimmune issues flared up and I was sick again for about a year total each time. So I'd get well for a year or two, I'd be sick for a year. COVID, a major renovation that made my body struggle with detox again, stuff like that, right? Um, each time I was sick, I struggled to do new reach outs, but I continued to do 4 things. I continued to post on social media. I continued to work on myself. I continued to support the team that I had. And I created systems and scripts so that I could work even if I was sick. So I had a plug and play system of here's what you say to the new customer and what day you say it on so you don't have to come up with it. So it was a bit in a way of like desperation actually helped me treat this like a business. My hard times actually have helped me to create fantastic retention. And I'm super grateful for that because, like I said, I've maintained Senior Ruby all but the first like 3 months since I ranked it. So I never quit. I always kept learning and growing. And I ranked Emerald July 30th, 2025. All praise to Jesus. um, the next question, what made you keep going when you saw others ranking up faster than you? I do not compare myself to others. I focus on self-awareness and what I need to learn or do. I also continually bring myself back to the truth that God called me to do this. I clearly remember the day I was standing in my kitchen and he told me, to whom much is given, much is required, and this is your work to do. So I had to keep going even when I didn't see the way. When he calls you to it, he'll get you through it. All right. So, and you don't have to have like an amazing story like mine. You don't have to have him speaking to you in your kitchen. If you see this opportunity and you want more to your family, for your future, whatever it is, you're called to it. This is a God-given work. It really is. So many of us are like, this is more of a ministry than a business, but praise God, we get paid for it too. I didn't mention it. I had actually gone to work. I had always been a stay-at-home mom, but I had gone to work the fall that we learned before we learned about Plexus because we had money and all my kids were in school at that point. We went to a small public school, only about 20 kids per grade, very tiny rural school. All my kids were in school. I started at a tax and accounting business. She let me work 6 hours a day so I could get my kids to school and I could pick them up from school. Um, I liked the work, but I hated not being able to be there for everything. I was like, oh, now I can't go on field trips and now I can't volunteer in the classrooms anymore. Like I was always at school and now my baby is at school and I couldn't be there. And I was like, well, this is dumb. But I knew I was like, it's the way it has to be because we have to have more money. We have to. My husband's a fantastic provider, but life is expensive and my medical bills were expensive. That summer when I went gold in July, my boss, who's also my friend, oh, I had actually taken a break during the summer because there's not as much work then, right? And then it gets busier come fall. She said, you won't be back this fall. And I said, yeah, I will. What are you talking about? She's like, no, you found your calling. She saw it before I did, y'all. And she was right. I didn't go back. So I retired myself in a few months' time. So what are your top three tips for going Emerald? I have told multiple people, don't quit, but it's deeper than that. You can't just keep doing what you're doing if it's not working. Not quitting is not deep enough to get you where you need to go. Just staying in the game for a long time isn't going to get you to Emerald. You can be in the game, you can be on the team, but be sitting on the bench, not scoring. Okay. So you have to continue learning and implementing what you learn, mainly implementing. So I'm going to share a few things that I did. Number one, belief in personal growth. I focused on the fact that God called me here. So yeah, when you have hard things come up and maybe your points slide or you're not working your business the way you want or whatever it is, you have team that is toxic and tells lies about you and leaves, like what happened to me, you have to work hard on your belief. So it's always the first thing. But I knew that God gave my family this miracle and told me that this was my work. My belief faltered so many times with getting sick and everything, but I chose to listen to the ones who believed in me and the unwavering truth that if God brings you to it, he'll get you through it. So my husband was my biggest cheerleader. Brenda Martin was my mentor and second biggest cheerleader. She never gave up on me. She loved me through everything. You've got to listen to the people who believe in you because they're the only true words. All right. Number two for tips for going Emerald is systems. Systems. When I got sick the second time, I remembered how I had lost people due to not having a good follow-up system and not feeling well enough to keep up with everyone. So I created, while I was lying in bed sick, I would be like, okay, what's all the things that I want to be sure to tell people, whether it's new customers, whether it's someone who's like, teach me how to share. Um, I wrote it all down and I put it in a flow, right? So that I wouldn't have to think about it. You don't have to, when you're it's time to follow up with somebody, you know what to say to them. And I have fantastic retention. I actually have some of the highest retention in all of Plexus, I've been told. So once again, glory to God. He gave that to me when I was sick in bed. Man, that's not me. As I got better, I created a system for reaching out to new people, starting conversations, inviting them to an event, a call, etc. Pretty much what we have in Plexus now. Thank God our corporate team has grown a lot too. We have fantastic tools and resources. I am now working on better systems for developing brand ambassadors and business builders. I definitely still need to work on duplication. So don't be afraid of systems. They are not cold and sterile. They're just a solid plan for loving people. Which brings me to my third point. My top third tip for going emerald is love. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in this Plexus journey is that everyone wants to be loved, and so few feel like they are truly seen and heard. People are starved for love and attention, not like the Instagram influencer attention sort of stuff. They actually want people to see them and hear them. I'm committed to daily learning how to be a good listener, to love and accept people for who they are, but to speak life into them, to speak what I see in them, of that they can rise above, they can become more, they have so much potential. I breathe belief and encouragement and love into everyone I can and everyone who will accept it. Some people don't. That's just the cold hard truth. Everyone who accept it. And even when people tell me no, they say thank you, no. And they tell me they appreciate me. So that's all I have written down. So yeah.
Sonya, that was amazing. Okay, so I really want to open it up for questions in a couple minutes. So you guys be pondering if you have any questions. I will say this, I feel like there's somebody on this call who's like, please share with us your systems of that. We want to like peek into the file. And I don't know if you're open to that or if you have something like that that we could look into. I think it's just really fun to see what different people create. And then I mean, really, when it comes down to it, you have to decide what you are going to use and shift it so that you actually bite into it and follow through, right? So I know that might just come up. But the other thing I want to make mention of is, in July, at the beginning of the month, did you think it was possible to go Emerald? Like, where were your points at the beginning of July? Where were you scheduled kind of to be? What did the monkey math say?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was really hoping to be able to go Emerald in April so that I could walk the stage in Dallas because my first convention was in Dallas 11 years ago.
Oh,
We just weren't quite there, and that's okay, right? Um, so May and June, it was like, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Each month it was kind of like, oh, not quite. But it made me realize in those months that I needed a more concrete plan to go Emerald. So during May and June, we started getting lists of like who sometimes orders, who wants to build a business. When Icon Club dropped, I was really working with people, starting to develop new brand ambassadors, things like that. So we were starting to gain that little bit more momentum. But as soon as July rolled around, then we knew like, okay, who sometimes orders. And so we were reaching out, we were pulling those orders in from the very first week of the month. So we honestly had about the normal amount of new customers added that we usually have in a month. I can't tell you those exact numbers right now. I think around 30. Um, so a lot of it was existing accounts that sometimes that did order, but we knew who we had to work with and we pulled it off. And I ended at 1559.
so amazing. So did you have your team use those particular scripts for those people? They knew exactly who they were reaching out to, what they were saying, and asking for them to maybe order a month earlier than they perhaps would, things like that.
Yes, yes. So a lot of those people are actually under my sister, who is senior Ruby, and they do not use the internet. They are in a very conservative church group. And about 3 years ago, their church did allow people to have the internet, like if they needed it for work. So about 3 years ago, I told her, I said, I can't keep up with anybody. Can you ask your church if you can have the Plexus website? So that's all she has. But it made a huge difference in like, because I was getting so snowed under, I couldn't work like my own personal business. I was so busy taking care of just my team and orders and stuff. Um, so a large portion of those people are her team, you know. So basically, she took care of half of me going Emerald, and I took care of the other half. Thank God for my sister.
That's
But yeah,
amazing.
so yes, we had and then of course I did have some people who had reached out to and say, hey, your customer sometimes orders. Would you connect with them? And here's what to say. So yes.
Yeah. Very intentional. Every person matters during a rank up month. And I was thinking about you, Sonya, last month because I mean, even for me, like hearing where you were at, a week out, I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, how is she going to pull this off? It's possible, but whoo, every person is going to matter. And I just find it so interesting how you guys just killed it, blew past Emerald. And really, we're sitting here going, hello, why can't we do that right now? You had a goal of 1,500 points and you had the Alaskan crew sitting there waiting for you, so you went the extra mile. What do we have that we are setting up for ourselves, that goal, that point goal for August? And do you have the hunger to do your best? I know Sonya too, she was telling me, she's like, this is surrender to the Lord. Like he is going to have to carry us all the way through. But like, what if we could accomplish way more in August for our own personal businesses just by going to him, asking him for a goal and working like the Alaskan cruise depended on it, or that bonus pool money, honey, that's going to be coming in. It's going to be over $1,000 potentially, or more, on top of your Plexus Lexix stipend. Um, just very, very inspiring and convicting too. You stewarded what God gave you and multiplied it. Wow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Who has questions? Anybody have questions? Ooh, good question. So Marlisa asked, how many active biz builders do you have on your team?
I don't know. Maybe that's not a good answer. Maybe I should know the exact number.
Yeah.
I mean, there's my sister, there's her senior gold, there's my husband. Um, there's my new senior gold who ranked up the day after me. There's her senior silver who ranked up a few hours after her. Um, those are honestly the big ones. Um, have you ever heard this saying that the team that gets you to the rank you are now is not the team that will get you to your next rank?
Oh, yes.
I'm so grateful for everyone who's been part of my journey, but I had business builders who got me to gold and they quit, to senior gold and they quit. Most of them are still customers, but for whatever reason, they aren't building this business anymore. I'm kind of hoping that seeing my stick-to-itiveness and the success will bring them back because I see so much potential in them, like I want it for them. But regardless, you keep reaching out to the team that you have. You keep reaching out to new ones, um, and do really good job on retention because I will chew you out if you bring people in as a customer and don't retain them. You need to be here for their long haul. You need to be here for their results. Like,
Yeah.
I will go Mama Sanya on you and chew you out. Like,
I was just gonna call you Mama Sonya. I'm like, Mama Sonya's in the house. Mama
I
Sonya.
have told people before, do not sign someone up if you ain't going to follow up with them. Mm-mm, mm-mm. We're here for results, baby.
Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see. It's a Zoom user. With autoimmune diseases, what system do you use to keep up with your customers individually?
So I just wrote down what I wanted to be sure to communicate with them. And then I kind of mapped it out in the month, like what I want to say to them. And then I use Teamsy to follow up with my people to make sure that it's scheduled in. It's also a fantastic place to keep all your notes on someone, what products they've ordered, all the things. I love Teamsy. Dude, it's like 30 bucks a month. It is so
It,
worth it.
it's still only $30 a month. I
It
did
is so cheap.
Emerald and into Sapphire, and I moved to something else that I never went back. And I'm telling you, Teamsy
I don't
baby.
I don't know. I love it. So I'll just put as soon as they join, I just put in my Teamsy, you know, VIP one, VIP two, as far as like what number of message to send them. And of course, I'm putting in about 4 or 5 days before their subscription, like let them know that is coming and that we can tweak it, we can bump it, we can do whatever, but don't turn it off. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just put that in my Teamsy and it pops up and I'm like, oh, that's the message I need to send. The groundwork is laid. It's so easy to personalize it. That's why I'm like, systems don't have to be cold and sterile. They don't have to be cold and sterile. You personalize it. You're reaching out with love because once again, this is the long haul. If you're not going to follow up, you are not a loving person. I don't know who needs to hear this. This is like aggression coming out.
We need it. Good. So,
It's a
thank
business, baby. Treat it like one.
yeah. Whew. Okay, I put in a question. What books or podcasts or personal growth resources kept you in the game for 11 years? Is there anything that sticks out to like, oh, that was a little bit of a game changer, or I read that regularly, or somebody even maybe a leader in Plexus somewhere, another jewel that has inspired you to keep going and grow your skill set?
Um, the Bible. Being absolutely grounded in who I am in Christ. Um, one of the first books that I read was How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you haven't read it, you need to. I've read it 2 or 3 times, or I dabble in it. I'll pick it up, thumb through it. I was so sick before Plexus that I had started telling myself the lie that I didn't like people simply because it felt easier than saying, I'm too sick, I don't have the energy. So it was easier to just be like, oh, I don't like people. That's why I'm a hermit. That's why I'm at home. But it was some of those lies that I had to overcome then
Wow.
to be good at this because I had to realize I do love people. I do care about them. I do have the energy for them. So that book was fantastic at remembering how to love people well. Some people's like, ooh, how to win friends and influence people. That sounds so manipulative. Go read the book. It's not. It is all about loving and serving well. Anything by John Maxwell. I've read so much John Maxwell. I love the fact that he's rooted in the truth too, or the gospel truth. Books and resources. A lot of shoot, my book cupboard's right over there, but I don't want to get up and go get it. I've read a lot. There's definitely some that have stuck out more than others. What to say when you talk to yourself? Huge, huge. You might not think that you're saying things, but it's in there. You got it going. A lot of Caroline Leaf stuff. You can rewire your brain. It is biblical. Oh, awesome, Lou. Great to see you. She's gone. Oh, I was going to tell her congratulations on senior silver.
Oh, thank you, friend.
You'll have to pass that on for me. Maybe someone else is ranked up that I don't know about, but I saw hers.
You guys, any more questions?
Ooh, another one. This one was huge. The Circle Maker, the book about prayer, about praying circles around things. Whoo, that one was fire. Yep.
Well, can I just say, I mean, my little notes are wow. A couple things I heard from her mouth that got her where she is and will get her to the next place that God has for her in his perfect timing. No matter what, she continued to post. She continued to work on herself. She does not, she literally spoke to us. If you're just getting on this call, she said, I do not compare myself to others. Do not. Wow.
You're
Yeah.
incomparable. Every single one of you is incomparable. God made you you. Lean into who you are. You are what is needed. And you have the ability to grow and become the best, most loving servant leader. People need you. Don't compare yourself to anyone.
Powerful. I'm like, I'm receiving that right now for Mama Sonya. Anybody else? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna believe you. It's true. She also said God called her to do this. So she has a purpose here. There's a foundation for her, not a, oh, I'm gonna quit. Oh, I keep wanting to quit. Oh, if only, right? Going back to, I'm called to do this. This is a gift. Really, it is a place of stewardship, isn't it? When you realize it's a gift, you're like, what am I going to do with this? I could keep it to myself or I could multiply it to the glory of God and for the good of others. How incredible. Even like the greatest commandment of loving God and loving our neighbor. I'm like, gosh, that's funny. These good works that we're called to walk in, they're right here on our screens and at church and at our self-defense class we're putting on Saturday in the community, you know? Truly. And I love, Sonya, when you said, when he calls you to it, he'll get you through it. Amen. The do not quit, it's do not quit no matter what, right? But she said it's deeper than that. We can't just keep doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. In that do not quit zone, it really is, right? Constantly. I'm in a place there right now, like, what do I need to shift? And it's true, like Sonya said, I went to my Bible. That was her top top suggestion, you guys, for our personal growth, right? He's the one who holds all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge in all areas, including this business. I love that you said you've got to listen to those who believe in you because those are the ones that are speaking the truth. And you guys, if you're like longing for more, like this is a joke that my husband and I have for just 21 years of marriage. Early on in a marriage, he is not as like verbally affirmative. That is not his natural tendency. He's more like, what can I get you? Can I get you something now? Like constantly like serving me. And I'm like, no, you can't get me anything. I'm fine. But what you can do is say a little something, just a little something, right? He's gotten really good at that over the last 6 to 7 years of being more verbally affirmative. But in our marriage now, I will go to him and be like, can you speak some truth to me and just pray for me? You guys, that's what uplines are here for too. We're here to speak that truth over you, that belief in you over you. We know you need that. We do too. So let's be super faithful in doing that all the way to diamond and beyond. It's needed. Sonya, there's so much here. Yeah, we'd love to see if you are open to sharing your system of what you use, especially during your sickest time, just the simple like reaching out to people. We would love to see that file if you're willing to share. I don't know about you guys, but we're just so, so grateful for your time with us here. I don't want to keep us much longer as I know we are moving into August and sowing seeds. Sonya, do you have any last words for us?
I will share my systems. Once again, tweak it to where it suits you. I gathered the ideas from so many other people and I found what worked for me, what I could flow with. But yeah, I'll be happy to I'll send those to Bridget. She can post them in your team page wherever. Any last words? The bad and the ugly just fade away in the midst of God's goodness. It's worth it. I remember hearing, a few years after I'd been senior Ruby, it's not a bad place to be. It's not a bad place to be. But I knew I wasn't done, but I'd been there for so long, right? And I remember hearing a network marketing trainer outside of Plexus saying, like, if it takes 10 years, it'll still be worth it. It is. It's true. 11 and a half years, and I'm emerald. And every last thing was worth it because it's not just about getting there, it's about who you become on the way. I am such a more patient and loving person. I really like who I am, and I'm excited to see who I'm gonna be in the future and who I can raise up to really like themselves. It's about character growth, it's about service, it's about loving people. Do that, and the journey is all worth it.
Oh my goodness, what a way to end. The bad and the ugly fade away in the midst of God's goodness. Let's persevere, friends. Thank you for inspiring us, Sonya. We love you. We're so happy for you and all this means for your family, for your team, for your network, watching you, saying, oh, she did it. Okay. This success, I pray, will breed more success as others begin to believe that they can do this too. Okay,
Amen.
let's unmute ourselves and say thank you to Sonya.
Thank you, Mama Sonia.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much
Thank
for having
you
me
so
on.
much.
I appreciated being on here.
Well, we recorded this, so we'll get the recording to you, Sonya, and to our teams that couldn't be on. Have a great day, guys. And Sonya, we'll see you in September on that ship to Alaska.
See you in a month.
Bye, friends.